Good day, keen learners, and to the other viewers. Today, we will be discussing one type of developmental stage which focuses on to the middle and late childhood. Welcome to the unforgettable changes that evolves from 6 to 11 years old. According to Tom Robbins, it is never too late to have a happy childhood. Before anything else, we would like to present to you the videos which generalized and focuses on to our topic, the middle and late childhood. Let us have this definition of growth and development. So growth is the progressive increase in the size of a child or parts of a child, while development is a progressive increase in skill capacity to functions. So the difference between the two is that growth pertains to increase of size of the body parts of a child, while development it pertains to the skills and the capacity of the child in order to function and how their capacity and skills to develop while functioning. Middle and late childhood during school years. Middle childhood brings many changes in child's life. By this time, change can dress themselves, catch a ball easily by using only their hands, and tie their shoes. I would like to share my experience. Last night, I have talked to my niece on the phone via video calling. She's 3 years already in abroad, so the distance kept us away from each other. So she's now 11 years old. I have seen her tying her shoes while talking to me, and I was moved because the last time when we were together, I was the one who dressed her up, tie her shoelace, or even fix her hair. So I really can see her development in that age. Having independence from family becomes more important now. In this stage, they are more capable on practicing how to be independent from their parents. Events such as starting school brings children this age into regular contact with the larger world. Friendships becomes more and more important. They create group of friends. Physical, social, mental skills develop quickly at this time. So this is a critical time for children to develop confidence in all areas of life, such as through friends, schoolwork, and sports. So after or along with our discussions, we will be tackling more about barriers on how to create confidence with yourselves. We will be focusing on to the three aspects in developmental changes. While moving on to this middle to late childhood, which are the physical, the cognitive, and the social. So, let's find it out. Physical growth and development. So what is biological growth? This is growth during the school years, characterized as gradual in almost all body parts. So when we talk about biological and its gradual manner, this is done by step process that cannot be skipped. Because this biological, the changes on how a gametes formed the fetus to baby in a mother's womb till the day it was born. Next, coordination and muscle control increase as gross and fine motor are perfected. So, let's look at the next procedure on how this stage. Physical development. This refers to the advancements and refinements of motor skills, or in other words, children's abilities to use and control their bodies. It is one of the many domains of infant and toddler development. This is more on developing their physical traits. It focuses on how they are going to control their body. Here are some of the traits that can be seen in development, which focuses on to the physical development. We have the muscle strength, motor skills, stamina increase. Child will gain about 5 to 7 pounds a year, grow about 2 to 3 inches per year, slim down and gain muscle strength, and lung capacity, making it possible to engage in strenuous physical activity for long periods of time. So in this stage, they are more capable of attending or attaining to perform physical activity which are heavier and much challenging. Overview to children weight and height During school age, years shows a sex-related difference. This is the different or the variety measures of the height, the weight of boys with regards to girls in this stage. Boys gains slightly more weight than girls because during this stage, girls are more prone to weight gain while boys are not. Maybe because boys are very active at this age and they are on activity which makes them active in each and every day of their childhood days. With regards to height was gained similar with the girls, but boys tend to become taller. In this stage, girls and boys are close similar in height, but most of the boys are much taller than girls, and that's true. Percents in your screen is the table which shows how much the weight or height gain by girls and boys at their age in this middle to late childhood. So age 6 to 8 years old, they gain weight for about 17.5 to 25.5 kilogram. They gain 3.8 kilogram yearly. In height, 110 to 121 centimeter gains 1.13 centimeter per year. In 8 to 10 years old, 22 to 32 kilogram gains about 3.8 kilogram yearly. In height, 121.5 centimeter to 136.5 centimeter gains 1.13 centimeter yearly. 11 years old, weight 25.5 to 39.5 kilogram. They gains 3.8 kilogram yearly. In height, 131.5 to 147.5 centimeter. In 12 years old, boys gains weight 30 to 48 kilogram, while girls 30 to 50 kilogram. In height, boys 142 to 158 centimeter, and in girls 144 to 160 centimeter. Health during middle childhood. For most children in the US, the common cold is about the most serious illness that occurs during middle childhood. Exactly, especially those who are located in the north, and also they have these four seasons which are the spring, the autumn, the winter and summer. One of the factors maybe that can change the weather and the temperature that happen because of their climate, and those children need to adapt in that climate, which may be the factors that causes them this illness or the colds. But colds are not uncommon during middle childhood. 1 in out of 9 has a chronic, persistent condition. Although life-threatening illnesses have declined over the past 50 years, some chronic illnesses have become more prevalent. Colds are not new to children during this stage. That is why in this stage, they tend to have their checkups regularly. But there are some chronic illnesses that cannot be avoided or unavoidable. Some reasons might be in family history or the bloodline of these chronic illnesses, the unhealthy baby in the womb from vices of parents during her pregnancy. So that is why a healthy child is a blessing, and if not, it is still a blessing. It's because it shows how brave a parent will be in taking care of their child in order to combat this kind of illnesses. And that's all.
Moving forward, now we're going to discuss the nutrition. Nutrition is also linked to physical development during middle childhood. So what is nutrition? Nutrition is the process of providing or obtaining the food necessary for health and growth. So, do you think nutrition has a connection or relation to physical development of middle and late childhood? Nutrition is important to physical development of every individual, especially in middle and late childhood. Nutritions affect the physical development of middle and late childhood. Mudya kisa makabiti kita sa mga doktor, nurse, nutritionist, even sa mga health workers nga ay ang bata mo lack of nutrition dana mura kuri ang physical development na. Kisa gani makabati kita sa mga nanay natin nga gapamangkot nga, Dok, why is that nga ang lawas ka bata ko gamay compare sa iba? Ang masabat ang dira ka doctor, it's because lack ang bata mo sa nutrition mura ang anang physical development kuri. Proper nutrition is linked to positive personality traits. more involved with peers, more positive emotions, more often less anxiety, more investigative, more alert, more energy, more persistent, and more self-confidence. Kung may proper nutrition ang imong mga bata, mo kung na nga energetic kag may self-confidence dana. Muja nga ang nutrition may connection gid kag relation sa physical development. Nutrition and sleep is very essential for normal growth. So, kainat na to nutrition, kadyat na pagid sleep. Ang sleep na dyan guys, saraman dyan nga may connection kag relation sa physical development. Makaapekto man dyan sa pagbahol kasang kabata. Nutrition and sleep is essential for normal growth and health. 2,400 calories each day. Sa sleep na, ang 5 years old dapat 11 hours ang anang pagturog. Sa 9 years old dapat 10 hours. Sa 13 years old dapat 9 hours. Now we're going to nutritional problem or nutrition problems. The number 1 is the little focus in eating. Dara ko unda nga wala ko pag-focus sa pagginakaon mo. Either ga cellphone ka o sige kaon, or pida mapili ka sa pagkaon. Pangarwa, fewer meals with family. Diyata na kara sa sobra mo ka-busy, nalipatan mo magkaan sa sakto nga oras, imaw ka family mo. Imbis nga 3 times a day ang kaon mo, nag 2 times or 1 time a day lang timo. Pangatlo, few fruits and vegetables. Diyata na ka bukod ko para kaan kang prutas, especially kang mga laswa. Gusto mo per may karne or frozen foods kinakaan mo. Pang-apat, too many fried foods and soft drinks. Diyata na kunda nga hilig ka sa mga junk foods how. And most importantly, the poverty. Ang poverty or kahirapan. Mudya ko onda nga dahil sa kahirapan or poverty, hindi ka kabakal ang tao kang nutritious food. Mura nga, ang pag-develop ka sang kabata daw hinagawa kag hindi nami ay hindi kaya kabakal kang nanay kag tatay na ay dahil sa poverty. Nutrition and physical development during middle childhood continue. Obesity is defined as body weight that is more than 20% above the average for a person of a given height and weight. 10% of all children are obese. This proportion has risen 54% since 1960s. Ang obesity tinadya mo dyan kung unda nga sobra sa sakto nga kilo or kataas ang bata. 20% above the average for a given height and weight. For example, ang bata mo sobra na kilo sa sakto nga kilo kasang kabata sa mura nga edad. Mudya ginakuunda nga obesity. Now we have here a healthy food pyramid. Children with more nutritious diets had more energy and self-confidence. Now we are going to physiological development. Physiological development has 5 systems or developments: cardiovascular system, immune system, motor system, nervous system, and lastly, the sensory development. The number 1 is cardiovascular system. It refers to heart. The heart assumes a more vertical position in the chest because of left ventricular development and downward placement of the diaphragm. Heart murmurs peaks during 6 to 9 years of age. This occurs in approximately 50% of all children. Second, the immune system. As the immune system continues to develop, response to infection is specific and localized. Normal adult levels of the hemoglobin are reached during the school years. Diyata na kuunda nga ang sa immune system, ang sa middle and late childhood, diyagin ka ang prone na sa infections. Third is the motor system. The school child continues to refine previously acquired skills. The child needs regular exercise, approximately 4.5 to 6 hours daily to develop normally. Diyata na kara dapat may regular exercise ang bata kada adlaw para ang pag-develop na sakto kag nami nga pag-develop. Fourth is the nervous system. By 10 years of age, the nervous system is essentially mature. This should be evident in the sensory and motor functions as well as in the cognitive process. Diyan nakarag ang atang mga senses. Senses kang middle and late childhood, kaamat-amat kang mature. Ang andang sensory, kaamat-amat kang develop. And lastly, the sensory development. By the time the child reaches the age of 6 years, central visual activity is established. At the age of 7 years, visual activity should be 20/20, which is an adult level. From 8 years of age, the adolescence, the tendency of myopia increases. Sense of taste, smell matures. Able to locate applications of heat, cold, or pinprick to body surface. Sa middle and late childhood, diyan ka ang mga bata, tandaran ka andaran kang ko sa din ang sakit, kaganda ang taste rin, ang anda nga pag smell kag taste daga develop, amat-amat kang mature.
Now, let us discuss motor skills development in middle and late childhood. Physical in middle childhood. Here are the motor development main points. School-age children's gross and fine motor skills develop substantially over middle childhood. At this stage, the children's gross and fine motor skills greatly develops. An important improvement in gross motor skills is muscle coordination. When we say gross motor skills, it requires our body muscles in order to perform physical activities. At this stage, children have a better control on their muscles, which result to the enhancement of their body movement. Fine motor skills advance because of increases in the amount of myelin insulating the brain neurons. The myelin allows electrical impulses to transmit quickly and efficiently along the nerve cells. This means myelin helps a child's movements and thoughts to become faster. Now, let's take a look on specific skills development, both gross and fine motor skills, under middle to late childhood. Gross motor skills of a 6 to 8-year-old child. At this period of age, they can learn how to ride a bicycle without the help of training wheels. So, we assume that a 6 to 8-year-old child should have the capability to balance the bicycle without the use of supporting wheels. They enjoy running, jumping, climbing, and hopping. At this stage, every children is fond of playing physical activities, especially with their same age group of friends. They are constantly in motion, clumsy, and awkward. We can notice this behavior in children where they do not stay in a single place. They like to roam around the room and pick any things they would find. They are often vulnerable to accidents. That is why they require proper attention and guidance. Their coordination still improves. Next is the fine motor skills of a 6 to 8-year-old child. They can now know how to identify their left from their right hand. They can draw a person with 12 to 16 parts. They can also print words and starting to learn cursive writing. Eye-hand coordination improve. They can easily use their eyes and hands synchronously. This is important when they take down notes from the board. Let us now move forward to the gross motor skills of an 8 to 10-year-old child. Unlike in their 6 to 8-year-old stage where they learn how to balance the bicycle, now they can perform tricks while riding the bicycle. Begins to participate in organized sports like basketball. At this period, they can now qualify in joining team sports like basketball for boys and volleyball in girls. They can now also learn simple skills like throwing the ball overhand and underhand. Let's move on to fine motor skills of an 8 to 6-year-old child. In previous age period where they learn how to identify left from their right hand, now they can use both of their left and right hand independently. It means better coordination in their hand movements. They also improve their drawing skill that were 12 to 16 parts before. Now they can draw a person with 18 to 20 parts. Has increased smoothness and speed in fine motor control. Now their cursive writing skills is much more better than before. Lastly, the gross skill development of 10 to 12-year-old child. They enjoy all physical activities. Most of the children 10 to 12-year-old can be observed playing around. There are some instances that all they want is to play night and day until their bodies are tired. While in fine motor skills, their coordination continues to improve. Self-care. A 6-year-old child is more talkative and interesting too at the beginning of meal. At this age, children are hard to feed because they move a lot and they only show their interest to eat at the beginning of the meal. 7 years. Improved table manners. Less talkative. Unlike in 6 years old where they are really hard to feed, now they can simply sit down and eat their meal. Needs to be reminded to wash hands. Needs some help with dressing. Wears whatever selected by parents. They are not picky in wearing their clothes. If given by their parents, they would wear it instantly. Leave clothes wherever they are removed. They should be someone who would help them in the things that they cannot do yet. Can brush and comb their hair for themselves.
Let's move on to another aspect in developmental changes, which is the cognitive development in middle and late childhood. Cognitive development. It means how children think, explore, and figure things out. It is the development of knowledge, skills, problem solvings, and dispositions which help children to think about and understand the world around them. In this development, children now have their own understanding about what they see or own observations and doesn't rely on other people's opinion. They give their own thoughts and comments about what they see. Idiyaran ka sa cognitive development, ma-develop ang anda knowledge, skills, problem solvings, and dispositions na makabuligid ka nanda and makabulig man understand kung ano ang nagkakaramdam ka nanda sa paligid nanda. Here are some examples in cognitive development. Decision making and problem solving. O dyan ka rin nanda nag-decide ka, nag-solve kang problem nanda on their own. Uses of analogies and explanation. Differing reasoning skills. Leadership skills and social comparison. Let's move on to types of reasoning under cognitive development. The first type of reasoning is the inductive reasoning. It is the act of making generalized conclusions based off of specific scenarios. Here is an example. A child has one friend who is rude, another friend who is also rude, and the same is true for a third friend. Using inductive reasoning, the child may conclude that friends are rude. The next type of reasoning is the deductive reasoning. It is the act of backing up a generalized statement with specific scenarios. For example, all dogs have ears. Golden retrievers are dogs. Therefore, they have ears. Another example is all racing cars must go over 80 miles per hour. The Dodge Charger is a racing car. Therefore, it can go over 80 miles per hour. Let's move on now to factors under cognitive development. And the first one is the classification. As children's experiences and vocabularies grow, they build schemata and are able to organize objects in many different ways. They also understand classification hierarchies and can arrange objects into a variety of classes and subclasses. What is shown in the picture is an example of classification, which is the biological classification of living things. It is divided into 8 levels, which are the domain, kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species. Another factor under cognitive development is the identity. One feature of concrete operational thought is the understanding that objects have qualities that do not change even if the object is altered in some way. For example, mass of an object does not change by rearranging it. A piece of chalk is still chalk, even when the piece is broken in two. Another example is ang buhok natin, ang hair. So hair, mas ginaguntingan mo tana sa pinakagamay, buhok mangad tana, wala tanaga change into another object. The last factor under cognitive development is the reversibility. The child learns that some things that have been changed can be returned to their original state. For example, water can be frozen and then thawed to become liquid again. Arithmetic operations are reversible as well. 2 plus 3 equals 5 and 5 minus 3 equals 2. So, nami nakara is, maski nga baliktad-baliktadan mo, ang mga tana daw kabalik kita na sa original state na.
Intellectual development in middle childhood. Education approaches to cognitive advances. School is a child enters the operational stage. Period of cognitive development between 7 and 12 years of age, characterized by the active and upward and logic. During this stage of development, children become more logical and sophisticated. Children at this stage can easily solve conservation problems, including use over appearance. For example, whether the amount of liquid stays the same, although fluid with a different shape containers. Kids at this age become more logical about concrete and specific things, but they still struggle with abstract ideas. Social development. What is social development? It is the process through which children learn to build relationships. It involves learning the values, knowledge, and skills necessary to understand how to get along with others. Social development also refers to the process in which a child learns to interact with others around them as they develop their own individuality and their own needs. Children also other people and process actions. In social development, children can express positive feelings about school and school activities, exhibit a concept of money and make change for small amount of money, express self in a logical manner and talk through problems, enjoy riddles and read and understand comics, insert in a hobby or collection, like to help others and think of self as likable and healthy.
Psychosocial development experienced by middle and late childhood. What is psychosocial development? Psychosocial development describes how a person's personality develops and how social skills are learned from infancy through adulthood. At the age of 6, they should have learned to trust others and have sense of autonomy. Learn the fundamentals of getting along in their particular environment through experiences in living by asking questions to parents and others. Having developed a sense of initiative, their activities should be controlled by their conscience. Ibig sabihin nito ay ang mga batang nag-eedad ng 6 na taong gulang ay marunong nang magtiwala kahit kanino at nasa state na sila ng self-governing o autonomy. Marunong na din sila gumawa ng mga bagay na hindi na inuutusan or may initiative na silang gumalaw. From 6 to 8 years old, they begin to develop the sense of industry, negative counterpart, inferiority, continues to egocentric, bossy, has a know-it-all attitude, craves attention, returns of temper, may be used verbal or physical attacks, insists on being first on everything, has a good day and bad day, jealous of siblings, fear of injury to body. Sa edad na ito, they become aggressive or nagiging agresibo, curious sa mga bagay sa kanilang paligid. From 8 to 10 years old, they begin to develop sense of industry, they are ready for anything, curious about everything, becoming peer-oriented, begins hero worship, consider peer opinion more important than parents. Relationship with siblings has improved, has fears that reasonable, aware of appropriate sexual role, enjoys running errands, helping mother when she is busy. Sa edad na ito ay they already know how to respect and control their emotions or their anger. At mas nagiging matulungin na rin sila sa kanilang mga magulang or sa kahit na kanino na kahit hindi nila kakilala. From 10 to 12 years old, they begin to develop sense of industry, congenial, sincere, or confidence, respects parents and their role, able to control anger, has short bursts of anger, hero worships of adults continues, knows about sexual intercourse, join group formal and informal, has greater self-control.
Let's move forward to psychosexual development. In psychosexual development, the child moves in latency period. This development have Sigmund Freud's 5 stages of psychosexual development that describe how personality developed over the course of childhood, with the central claim that children go through a series of psychosexual stages that lead to the development of the adult personality. One of the stages of Sigmund Freud's is latency period, which is from 6 years old to puberty. So, latency stage is the 4th stage of psychosexual development. So, during this stage, the libido is dominant and no further psychosexual development takes place. In latency stage, much of the child's energy is channeled into developing new skills and acquiring new knowledge, and plays become largely confined to other children of the same gender. Also, during the early latency period, children associate with same-sex peers and tends to ignore members of opposite sex. Girls associate girls in their play and boys with boys. Girls may fear boys of same age and tends to draw apart from them. In this moment, children can now choose who will be their playmates and what gender it is. During this time, they are choosing who will be their company when it comes to playing. Because there are games that only for boys and games only for girls. Socio-emotional development. But first, what is socio-emotional? Socio-emotional is the child's experience, expression, and management of emotions and the ability to establish positive and rewarding relationship with others by Cohen and other 2005. Children in middle and late childhood have a more realistic sense of self than to those in early childhood, and they better understand their strengths and weaknesses. This can be attributed to greater experience in comparing their own performance with that of others and to greater cognitive flexibility. So, during this middle and late childhood, stable self concept based on the child's typically emotional experience emerge. With the increased capacity for self reflection, children gain an understanding of their self conscious emotion. As a result, the consistent experience of patterns of self conscious emotion has an impact on the child's self concept. So, children also learn emotional display rules as they progress through middle and late childhood. Um, this is the stage or this is the development which is a child can recognize if someone is sad and asking if they are okay, and also understand their thoughts and feelings and being able to relate to others. Erikson industry versus inferiority. This this industry versus inferiority is the fourth stage of Erik Erikson's theory of psychosexual development, which happens after the third stage of initiative versus guilt. The stage occurs during childhood between the age of approximately 6 and 11. According to Erikson, children in middle and late childhood are very busy or industrious. They are constantly doing, planning, playing, getting together with friends, and achieving. This is a very active time and a time when they are gaining a sense of how they measure up when compared with peers. Erikson believed that if these industrious children can be successful in their endeavors, they will get a sense of confidence for future challenges. If not, a sense of inferiority can be particularly haunting during middle and late childhood. So, during this industry versus inferiority, children become capable of performing increasingly complex tasks. As a result, they strive to master new skills. Children who are encouraged and commanded by parents and teachers develop a feeling of competence and belief in their abilities. Those who receive little or no encouragement from parent, teachers, or peers will doubt their ability to be successful. That is the industry versus inferiority by Erickson.
So, moving on, we were going to tackle factors that could affect the development or the growth of children during this stage. So, we have bullying. So, what is bullying? It is defined as unwanted, aggressive behavior among school age children that involves a real or perceived power imbalance. Further, aggressive behavior happens more than once or has the potential to be repeated. So, this won't happen for only once, but it could happen maybe twice or thrice. So, there are different types of bullying, including verbal bullying. So, what do we mean by verbal bullying? This is a saying or writing mean things, teasing, name calling, taunting, threatening, or making inappropriate sexual comments. So this would be happen verbally that can be speak out, can be written out by a person. So let us have a specific example for what this verbal bullying will be.
Verbal bullying. Many children suffers verbal bullying. It can be came from their classmate or even their friends. Some situational example would be a girl who just got transferred from another school suffer from a verbal bullying. A group of mean and arrogant boys continues to bully her by teasing, name calling, and even worse, making inappropriate sexual statement about her. There is a praise of sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. This praise is used to show someone that they are not affected by the harsh words. But let us all be honest, even at the simple offensive word can greatly impact someone's mental health. So, be kind, think before you speak, and respect one another.
Thank you so much, John Eric Asuncion. That was a specific example of what really can happen under the type of this bullying, which is verbal. It could happen not just through written text, but it could happen also from what can someone prefer to say that could hurt your feelings or that could hurt anybody. So let's go deeper with that. What are the other types of bullying? We will have on the screen social bullying. So what is this? It is referred to as a relational bullying. It involves spreading rumors, purposely excluding someone from a group, or embarrassing someone on purpose. So in this type, the hint for this is the social, which social can happen for not even a one person, but it could happen in a group. With relation, it creates a relationship, or for example, you try to spread the rumors which have you got from any of your friend. You try to exclude someone from a group because you have this type of standard. So that is already a social bullying. It can happen socially. These are the barriers on how would you create a socially active life and an experience, a memory during childhood. So let's take for an example. Let us have the given example from Janela Magtangog.
One example of situational social bullying is that a cousin got embarrassed by his teacher in front of the class because his answers are incorrect. This kind of behavior should be given an action because this shows how unprofessional his teacher was.
Yes, that's the fact. The problem in here is that when children in this stage are already open to someone whom they could trust and share their problems, they could lean on when they have their personal problems. They are ready to socialize, but the problem in this society is that they still engage this type of bullying that could happen everywhere. And that could hinder someone to develop themselves. Children who could create great memories but rather to low their self-esteem, not to believe and not to trust others, is an effect of this type of bullying. So we should not engage to this. We should avoid this type of bullying. For it could happen in four corners of the room. It could happen in school. It could happen with your group of friends, or even it could happen inside the house. So let us get over with that. Let us accept and continue to share, to open our hands with the others who needed our help. So what are the other types of bullying? Let's have this physical bullying. It involves hurting a person's body or possessions. From the word itself, physical, you could sense it using your body, the body language, which can feel pain from with regards to others doing or misbehavior. So let us have another example under this bullying. Let's call on Perlene May Reyes.
The situational examples in physical bullying are hitting, kicking, scratching, biting, hair pulling, and tripping. For example, ang sangkabata, gusto na ibuli ang sangkabata, nagamit na kang lima na or parts na kabali nga, ipanakit na. Either nga isipaan na, karusun na, or katan na.
Thank you so much for that example. That is the specific example with regards to physical bullying, wherein so many children could literally experience in everywhere. So let's move on to the last type of bullying that we are going to tackle. So cyberbullying. This is a more recent form of bullying that involves electronic technology. You can use the social media platforms, you can use any electronic devices, whatever you have. So, examples of this include sending mean text messages. So, it won't happen verbally or in personal engaged of a person's, but you could just engage in this cyberbullying. When you have these devices, you can send this mean message. You can email it, creating fake profiles, and posting embarrassing pictures, videos, or rumors on social networking sites. So children who experience cyberbullying have a harder time in getting away from the behavior because it can occur at any time of the day and without being in the presence of others. Okay, Mika Nirves, can you please give some insights regarding this cyberbullying?
I never experienced cyberbullying, but I am a bully back then, specifically a cyberbully. But everybody changes. I changed. I will tell a story back when I was in junior high school. There is a transfer student that I hated a lot to the point that I used technology and social media, specifically the platform of Facebook, to express my emotions. I called out her physical appearance as a result of decreasing of her self-esteem, but then I realized that I should not do it because I don't want others to do it to me. As they said, wag mong gawin sa ibang ayaw mong gawin nila sa iyo.
So in this modern society, what I would like to say is that we should all be careful, especially to those children who are undergo the development. They should be careful in whatever they're going to post or click with regards to the internet access or any other social media platforms, wherein the inappropriate message that conveys any other meaning on how the children understand it can affect their development. It could lower their self-esteem, it could lower their self-image, it may lead to anxiety or even depression. The purpose of discussing these factors that could affect the growth or the development of the children during this stage is not to tolerate those instances, those bullying, those who commits bullying or being bullied, but rather to change the perspective of anyone, wherein we should know how to accept the negativities, which we know that these bullyings are the barriers for children to create and develop confidence. So at the screen, we have this saying, a child that can stand up to bullying can stand up to anything. So, this bullying is a paramount problem of children that can affect greatly their emotions and development. Therefore, a child is a lot stronger, braver in being good in handling her or his emotion relative to this problem. I would like you all to spread positivity that could influence young children a good habits, advice, and memories while they are growing. And we are the reporters. I am Jillian Jackstein M. Blancia.
And I am John Eric A. Asuncion.
Nicole Grace Espial. I am Janela Magtangob.
I am Jessamay Serata.
I am Perlin May D. Reyes.
And I am Ramika Vilma Marie Nierves from BS Ed 1E. Thank you.